that will play today, set off by GPS locations along the rail line. And then I will come in from time to time with some extra info and stories, and I can guarantee you the narration will bump into me talking, so I apologize in advance. But welcome aboard. We've got restrooms on the coaches at either end of the train. We have 2 restrooms either end of the train.
I gotta go to work.
Welcome.
Thanks for the info. You bet. I'll be back and forth for about half the trip, and then you.
Hello, and welcome aboard the Downeast Scenic Railroad. Our travel time today will be approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes. For your safety and comfort, we ask that you remain seated whenever possible during today's excursion. And in the coaches, please keep your arms and hands inside the windows and not on the sides of the coach. For safety, children must be accompanied by an adult when moving up the train. Have any questions about today's excursion? Please feel free to ask any.
You're in the baggage car.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going back.
What we say? What's that?
From the other aspect to this, for the
You can give her yours if she has to have it. Or I'll get you another. I see one on the floor over here. We don't throw people off the train. We just make them wash all the windows.
Spelled W-Y-E. It's a great Scrabble word. But it's basically a 3-point turn, railroad style. So the track we're on, and then there's parallel to us, is through the woods, is another track, and then you can see appearing off to the left a curved section of track connecting the 2 parallel sections. So we're going to pull up ahead and back around the curved section of track and turn ourselves around. This is one of 2 ways that we're going to reverse direction today. This is a very efficient way to turn a train around because you don't have to uncouple the coaches or the locomotive. A lot of the rail yards in the country have these Ys in them. They use them to turn trains to head back east, west, north, south, etc. Chicago's a good example of when coming on the Amtrak, you come into the station on a line, actually. So, and then kind of the third way to turn stuff around is there's a turntable, and kind of gone out of favor in only do 1 car or engine at a time, and it takes quite a bit of time. So the Y is the most efficient, and then we'll do what we call a runaround a little later on this morning down at the other end of the line.
Did you drive a rig when you went to school? You remember the 3-point turn? Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We just went down there, we're going back around and then come back.
It was retired in 1954. The New England Steam Corporation, or NESCO, is undertaking this restoration to bring 470 to operating condition. The Downeast Scenic Railroad has partnered with Nesco, and once operable 470 run on the tracks of the Downeast Scenic Railroad. You can visit Nesco's website at windwindsteam.org for more information. Along the right side of the train is a large 100-acre lumber mill that for over 65 years was owned by Bob Fox. Today it's owned by the Pleasant River Lumber Company. Starting in 1899, this rail yard was the meeting point for the Washington County and Maine Central Railroads. In 1911, the Maine Central purchased the Washington County Railroad out of bankruptcy. This created the 126-mile Calais branch of the Maine Central, running from Brewer to Calais. Located in the town of Hancock, Washington Junction was for years an extremely busy rail site. Passenger trains on their way to Mount Desert Island would switch tracks at the head of the yard and continue on the old Maine shoreline tracks to McNeil Point and then board ferry boats for the trip to Bar Harbor. Trains heading for Cherryfield, Machias, and Calais would pass through the yard on the old Washington County Railroad tracks heading further east. Washington Junction Depot and Yard served as a coal and watering station as well as storage for freight cars. This area also marks the start of the 87-mile multi-use Downeast Sunrise Trail that runs from here to Ayers Junction in Washington County. This trail is popular with hikers, bicyclists, ATVs, and snowmobiles.
Through the crossing here is one of the many blueberry processing plants in the area. This is owned by Wyman, and this is Maine wild blueberry harvest time. So this particular facility will clean and wash and de-stem the blueberries, and they actually freeze the blueberries here and store them in the large freezers you can see off to the right. So you can go to your favorite grocer in town, anywhere, USA. And they grow the blueberries Maine wild blueberries on low bushes on tops of hills, as opposed to a cultivated blueberry which grows on a taller bush, and they're about they're larger, about dime size. All right, so we're heading down into the Card Brook wetlands area, kind of the nature part of our ride. We got a lot of wildlife activity down in here. We're going to see some beaver activity today, some osprey, which are large birds about the size of an eagle. We've got snapping turtles that are laying their eggs, and might see them over on the west side of Card Brook. You'll notice a trail off to our left. This is part of the Downeast Sunrise Trail. And this is a good example of what we call rail with trail. Just a little history about a railroad corridor. When railroads came into an area to build a railroad, they traditionally bought a 66-foot wide swath of land. It's actually 3 English rods, which equals 66 feet. So in this case, where we are here now, and really most railroad corridors throughout the United States, there's plenty of room to have the railroad track in the middle of the 66 feet or somewhere inside that 66 feet. And there's enough room to say 10 feet from the rail, 10 feet wide, build the trail. So here, that's what we basically have here at the Downeast Scenic Railroad. You'll see today, rail with trail, pretty much the whole a lot of communities are battling with what to do with their rail corridors, and we like to show you that they can live in harmony, rail with trail, as opposed to a rail trail where they just take up the rail and put the trail in on the old railroad. So we're coming into Ellsworth proper here, busy Route 1, High Street and Ellsworth off to the left here. Now we're going to go over about 8 roads in the next mile and a half, and Engineer Leverage is going to blow the whistle 4 times at every road crossing. Let's listen. So when Engineer Leverett blows that whistle 4 times, it's 2 long whistles, a short whistle, and then a long whistle. So anytime you hear that sequence of 4 whistles, it means there's a train going across a road. And I've got a little folklore story I want you to help me out with here that I'll fill you in on the way back. But the folklore says that that signal was made up based on a letter that is in Morse code that is dash dash dot dash. So I need somebody to help me figure out what in Morse code what letter is dash dash dot dash. The story a little bit later on the ride. So as we cruise along here, we're actually, if you've ridden with us in our first 11 years of operation, this is our 13th year of operation. We used to board in this area coming up ahead of us on the left and right, in back of Cadillac Mountain Sports, and next to the Maine Community Foundation. And the Maine Community Foundation on the right coming up is actually the old Ellsworth train station. Well, they recently added on to the building and took up a lot of the parking we used to use for the train rides. So that's why we moved out to Washington Junction. But you can see in this area right here the old boarding platform on the left and right. And then you'll see the Ellsworth train station, the old Ellsworth train station on your right.
Our journey today will cross several roads. Some of the crossings in Ellsworth require us to stop and send a flagman into the roadway to stop vehicle traffic and then proceed on our way. Our first stop is right here at Main Street, then we'll continue westward to Ellsworth Falls, and after the train's engine moves to the opposite end of the train, we'll continue west across